Okay, so today I want to talk a little bit about working the flossing and gliding the median nerve. It's a nerve that goes from your neck down your arm to the thumb side of your hand. It's often implicated well, it is the only nerve implicated with carpal tunnel syndrome. It could be aggravated being tight, going through different tissues, or itself, it might be tight. So these are just a couple exercises we can do. Often you will be evaluated by a physical therapist or a doctor to determine if it has an issue or not. But assuming it does, here's an exercise you can do. Often people are given different median nerve exercises just out in space. I like to also do them against a wall. Okay, the most provocative motion or movement would be if I had my elbow straight, my palm down, and my head away. That puts the most tension through the system, the median nerve, so that's not where we're going to start. And if you can actually do that, you may not even need this. So what you're going to do is just like when we floss our teeth, the string of the floss is never being pulled at both ends. If one end is being pulled, the other end it's being loosened, and vice versa. So let's just assume we're going to start this out. I usually suggest people start with their fingers up, their elbows straight. So then what you can do, step one might be to keep the hand in that position, which we'd call 12 o'clock. The fingers are pointed up. This would be 6 o'clock, the fingers are pointed down, just so we understand what we're talking about. So I would stand against the wall. I would straighten the elbow and with the palm on the wall and see how that feels. Get a sense of how much tension is in that system. You can try by pulling the head away. Now this would be more like a glide because I have this at its most stretched point because the wrist is up, the elbow is straight, and my head is away. So I can try doing that. That would be like a glide back and forth. A floss, the difference between a glide and a floss is, as I bring my head away, I take my wrist off. So now this side has the most tension, that side has less. So if I'm going to bring my wrist back down, then my head comes back to that way. And this is more like a floss technique. So the goal here is to, maybe you can assess the extensibility with the glide at its most tense position, see how that feels. And then maybe you can work it from a floss perspective, meaning, again, elbow straight, wrists on the wall, head is towards that side. As I bring my head away, I bring my hand slightly away from the wall, so I'm not tensing at both ends, back and forth. So you might do that 5-10 times. Really important to coordinate it with your breath. Breathing is really important to help with stretching. As that gets easier and gets better, you can start now bringing the fingers around to like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, ultimately to 6, which would be the biggest stretch. And what's real important when you're doing these things is you really don't want to over-irritate the nerve. So if you did these stretches and you feel the tension, you wouldn't want to have any lasting symptoms, say 5-10 minutes afterwards, because you really don't want to aggravate the nerve. So you're just trying to get some extensibility, some movement in the tissues. It's better to do it a little bit consistently than a lot at once. Okay, hopefully that's helpful. If you have any questions or problems, you can always email me at jim@nypthealing.com. That's Jim, Jim, at nypthealing.com. Thank you.